Welcome back to Supreme Black Podcast. So there was a team out of Yuba City, California, on River Valley High School. They have forfeited their entire season. This is in Northern California because they had a mock slave auction, right? Uh, what I've seen that it looks like majority of the team is either split between Hispanic kids and black kids. The black kids were actually imitating that they were slaves in an auction. So when you walked in, you'll see the video, which I'll put into the clip, and it you will see them looking and pointing and, kind of mocking like what they would look like if they were buying slaves. Like the superintendent spoke out and said that, based off of what they've seen from the videos and the backlash that they've gotten from it, they forfeit the football season, which is one thing, right? Which impacts the kids, even though that's not really important when you think about the bigger thing, the bigger impact of it, which the superintendent spoke about when you think about between the intent and the impact of such joke. Now, where I think this comes from is this a really disconnect of the youth not being very aware of slaves and the process that they actually went through and the impact that it actually has. Now, I am smart enough to know that there wasn't just black people that were slaves. There were Hispanics, Indians, you name it, any country, any continent, they've had slaves. It was just a part of the system back in the day. I feel as if since we're in the United States, they really use the black people being a part of slaves as their own little mental trick. But, I would just say do some research, pick up some books like myself, and just make sure that you enlighten yourself in regards to that. But it was more than just black people that were in slavery. But just to think about their lack of sensitivity in regards to it, it's because kids are disconnected. You can even look on social media and see that there's adults that joke and make fun of slavery. Me, that's never been anything that was humorous to me. It wasn't funny. And it's like, why would you even want to mock something like that? But I look at it like, for the black players, it's like, are you that disconnected? Like, what's really being taught to you in school? Do you feel as if that maybe you were outnumbered and it was majority of Hispanic kids, and you feel as if that, hey, this is how I could fit in? Or did you all think it was funny because you've seen on social media that people reenact slavery all the time and make a mockery of it and a joke? Now, that could very well have been some of your ancestors. It doesn't impact us today because, to me, in certain ways, slavery and oppression can come in many different forms, and how that's used within the matrix that, sometimes that we're caught in. But I just wonder, like, what's the parents' thoughts? You feel me? Like, that's where I went with it, because I was truthfully lost for words when I had seen that it was black kids that were actually taking part in this thing. I've seen stuff like this before, or jokes about it, but you would think that it was white people. Maybe they'd put on face paint or color the body black or whatever, brown. But to see black kids doing it, it's like, damn, bro. Like, I remember being in situations when I was younger, like, we would have fights over, something as simple as rubber flags, or even you making a joke about ropes, all type of shit. And of course, and I'm from the South, so we looked at that completely different. But it's like, that was in the, early 2000s, going into, early to in the 2000s. So it's like, damn, are the kids truthfully just that disconnected to where everything has been so whitewashed and fabricated that they don't take slavery serious, regardless of the ethnicity of the people that were impacted by slavery? Do we as a society, or the kids as a society, like the youth, don't take it serious? That's how I really looked at this, because you could point at all the things that were wrong, but at the end of the day, these are kids that are reenacting something, but truthfully in their hearts, even with the black kids and the Hispanics that did it, they find this humorous. So I just kind of feel like that's a more of an alarming issue, to where a lot of people say, oh, you don't need to speak about it. I think that's why it's important, and we don't have to go as in deep to say critical race theory, which is a college course that a lot of people should take, but I think it's important to let them know of the severity of these situations, because it's not a joking matter, and especially for anybody to reenact it. But damn, to be to the point where black kids are the ones that are allowing people to make a joke of them and just in front of everybody, like, yeah, I'm a slave, you know what I'm saying? And they been up, they in they draws and shit, just looking just emasculated, not a strong bone in their body. Like, that ain't, man, listen, dog. Coming from where I'm from, like, there ain't no way in hell that shit would have flew. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't going for that, bro. It'd have been a hell of a fight. I remember back in the day, like, our football teams that got into it, like, there was a huge issue. Like, I think I was in like 7th grade, and the white kids that said like some racist shit, they weren't gonna block for the black football players that was running the ball and all type of stuff. Me and my cousin got into it with some people at school and got to fight and was suspended for a couple of days. Like, it was a bunch of different stuff, like beat up somebody in the hallway for saying nigga. Like, it was different for us to even, you know, in our times. And like I said, this is the 2000s, but now to see that we get to a point where black kids would accept being labeled as slaves and acting it out, like, we have to be completely disconnected. Like, I just want to know what their parents think. Like, that's really my thoughts on it, is we have to be really completely disconnected. But this is why it's important for in-home reasons to let them know of, like, certain things you just don't play about and you should be knowledgeable of. And that's my thoughts on that. Let me know what you think within the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. As always, it's your boy D Rose. Long live CC. I'm out.